Hey guys, so here's an update on this new swimming pool we got this year. This is the Coleman Power Steel Swim Vista Series 2 at a 22 by 52. So slightly bigger than the one that we had. Not humongous. I wanted the 26 foot, but look, this is what I could afford. So this is what we got. It looks really beautiful. I did run the vacuum cleaner in here for the first time with the skimmer. That we installed on the pool this time around. So I've kind of by accident learned some things as I went along today, being out here working on this pool first time. And one thing that I learned was with this pool, since we're only using one intake for the main sand filter pump, the pump gets a lot of suction power. You've only got all of suction coming from one intake instead of two. What was happening is the big chlorine floater here was actually getting sucked all the way up against the mouth of my skimmer. So it was blocking the suction, which is going to cause the return jet to lose flow back to the pool. So I have had to resort to putting the chlorine tablets in the basket that comes with your filter. And that'll be fine, I guess. Once it gets really super hot out here, I'll have to remember to come out and throw some tablets in there every now and then, like, or maybe if I'm running a schedule, if I have like a schedule that I'm running my pump, then I can know when I can put the chlorine floater in the pool while the pump isn't running. But for now I have the tablets in there because I'm running the pump. And the reason why is because it's the middle of spring, and this time of year is not a good time of year for us as far as debris and whatnot that can fall into the pool from trees. And I don't really even understand why, because the trees are all the way over there and all the way over there. They're nowhere near the pool, but this pool seems to still get quite a bit of debris. Is this skimmer? I don't know if you watched my previous videos from when I had the Intex pool. How I kept saying that I was a little bit afraid to put a skimmer on that pool. Well, I was kind of afraid to. My pumps were over there where the ladder is, and my water level over there is actually lower than over here. So I would have lost a lot more water. And then also, even though I paid a guy a couple $100 this time around to come put some sand down and level this ground off, it still wasn't level. It wasn't any more level than when we just put the Intex up on top of the grass when we first got the Intex. So we still had to resort to digging. After the pool filled up, not after the pool filled up, I'm sorry, after the pool went up, we could kind of tell where it was unlevel. And it used to be like even more off than what it is now. Now it's only a couple inches off all the way around, but before it was way off. That window right there is a really good indication of how off it is, as opposed to how full it is over here. But I mean, I'm pretty much happy overall with how it's setting. There is one leg over there that's a little bit slanted, but I'm not worried, because back when we had the Intex, all the legs on this side of the pool, all like 6 or 7 of them along that side, were all slanted at a diagonal. And a lot of times I would look at them and wonder how the pool was even still standing, because after I put it back up in 2016, I left it up. I said, I'm not taking it down again, because that's too much work to have to set and do every single year. It is sitting quite a bit better. There's some extra sand there on that side where they stretch the sand out a little bit too far on that side, but that makes it more stable for my ladder. So I'm happy about that. But I'm not happy about the fact that over here by where my pumps are, I don't have a pile of sand where my pumps are. So I always get to step around in the mud. And I told my husband what I wanted to do was put some sand down around the pumps. For one thing, to keep weeds from growing. Like right there, there's weeds. And there's some more weeds right there. I sprayed some ortho on it. It doesn't seem to be working. This is your vacuum attachment that you use. It goes inside the skimmer on top of the basket, and then your hose connects to the other side. So yesterday, this whole space in front of the skimmer became a mud hole, because I purposely filled the skimmer, I filled the water up too high, and the skimmer was full of water, and my daughter was jumping around in here yesterday and got the water out all over the ground and made me a nice mud puddle to step in yesterday. And made a big mess, because basically what it is, I filled it up too high, because once you open your pool at the beginning of the season, you want to backwash your sand filter to clean your sand. You don't have to change the sand every year. I wouldn't recommend doing that. That'd be a waste of money, because sand can stay good in your filter for 7-10 years without needing to change it if it stays properly cleaned and maintained. So what you do is you backwash your sand and get all the brown gunk off of there, and then rinse it before you start to filter the pool with it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get like a brown stuff that's going to shoot up into your pool, and it's going to make a big mess. So it's important to do that. So I filled that too high on purpose, so that could happen, because I knew I was going to be backwashing quite a bit of water off. I'm not going to be able to show you my water fountain today, because the plug that they give you with this pump, they run the water fountain, is really big like that one. And as you can see on my adapter, I only have 3 plugs. So there's not enough room for me to plug both of them. So I'm working on trying to see if I can find a bigger power strip or something that I can put out here, so I can go ahead and plug in everything. That's my pool light. And I'm probably gonna get another pool light. I want another one to put over there by the ladder for at night. So right now, you can see my mess with cables. Because I had to, my power line is only long enough to run to here, because if I try to pull it anymore, it's gonna come unplugged. We plug in from all the way inside the garage. In case you ever wondered that, that's how we run power. So what I'm gonna do is, once I get all that set up, is I'm gonna run this into the ground. It's an umbrella pole for my broken umbrella and a ground stake. And I'm gonna run this into the ground and attach my power strip to the pole to keep the plugs, to keep the plugs off of the ground and to keep them from hanging off the side. Like before, I used to hang the plugs like there through this part. I guess I could still do that, but I really don't want to, because I don't want water getting splashed on them and stuff like that, because you know that's going to happen when your kids are in the pool and they're running around and playing. And just as a safety precaution, it would just make me feel a little bit better that they were off the side of the pool and off the ground. Plus that can also cause your plugs to become waterlogged, which can actually ruin the insides of your plugs, and you have to change those out. I had that happen one time with my old sand filter. These two storage containers, they're like $100 and $150 off of Amazon. But I'm really, really glad that I got them. I originally got them because, you know, we thought we were moving and stuff like that. So I was like, well, I don't have a container or anything that I can put the pool in. Well, what we found out was when we were taking the pool apart last year, well, it was last year because it was last season, like October 2018. The pool was falling apart as we were taking it down. Like this part right here where the T's were, and the long joints were the ones that were rusted really bad, and they were rusted right there where these little, with Intex, it was like little push button thingies. These are a lot better because they're longer and they come out the other side. I guess if you wanted to, you could even like get bolts and put some Rust-Oleum paint on the bolts and then run bolts through there. But these are really good. But yeah, it was falling apart in our hand as we were trying to take it apart. And we knew that the pool was rusted, but we didn't know it was rusted that bad. We had no clue. Like, I got a saltwater system by Intex for that pool because everybody was talking about how great the saltwater system was and stuff like that. Well, I also was watching the Above Ground Pool Pros. I don't know if you remember Chad on Above Ground Pool Pros. That, I mean, he even tells you, and a lot of other people tell you, and you can go out online and Google it and read up on it, that when you have a metal frame pool and a swimming pool that has like metal walls and made out of metal mostly, when you put a saltwater system on your pool and it's metal, that's going to cause more rust and corrosion to happen to that metal pool. They tell you, they pretty much warn you against putting a saltwater system on a metal pool. But Intex makes saltwater systems for their pools. I guess they feel that their pools are so inexpensive and they're so disposable anyway that, you know, in a like couple 3 years, it shouldn't be anything difficult for you to go and buy a new pool and replace it. And it actually was not cheap because that pool came with a sand filter. My little sand filter, if you remember, the little one. It came with a sand filter, and that pool, being only an 18 by 52, costed me over $700. So I was kind of upset that it rusted out that bad within such a short period of time, because I got the sand filter now. I got the saltwater system in March of 2016. And as we were reopening the pool and setting up the pool that year, was when I had showed you that we had gotten it at that point. So the salt system lasted for 2 years. The same summer that we put it on, 2016, I did start to see a small amount of rust, but at that point it wasn't bad enough for me to be concerned at all about it. And then I was not aware, like like I was saying, we were not aware that we took the pool apart, that the pool was so rusted that it was going to potentially fall apart. So I'm glad that we took it apart, because that would have become a real safety hazard, you know, for the children. Like, what if somebody would have been in here and one of like the top frame pieces would have come off because of the rust? It wouldn't have been a good situation. So I'm really glad that we did take it down. So I'm also glad in the long run that I got the storage container, thinking that it was for that pool, because now it can be for this pool when we do finally leave here, which after everything that me and my husband have been through over the past couple of years, we're not leaving anytime soon. It's gonna take an act of Congress to get me to leave this house now, because we're not going anywhere until we're good and ready to go. Because we've just been through too much, and just too much has happened. We have a lot of stuff we've got to work through. So this can be our home for the next 3-4 years now. I don't care. I'll stay as long as I possibly can and enjoy my big backyard with a big old huge swimming pool. It's not a huge swimming pool, but I'm sitting on top of the ladder right now talking to you, and you can see that there's quite a bit of difference in size in comparison to our other pool. So like I said, it's not humongous, but it is bigger, which was kind of what I was looking for anyway, was something a little bit bigger, because we would get in the 18-foot pool with like me and my kids, and we would be killing each other because there wasn't enough room for everybody to swim around. So as you can see, there's still like some dirt on the ground of the pool, floor of the pool, I should say. And there's like some more dirt there. Some of it is sand, because back when we first put the pool up, I was running around in here picking like certain spots to work out wrinkles, and I had my shoes on. So it kind of made it a little bit dirty in here, and it caused some of the sand to kind of stick to the bottom. So I'm gonna have to check into like some kind of a stain remover that I can pour into the pool to remove some of the stains. I know they make one I've used before, but I can't remember what brand it was or anything. So But the pool overall, though, is a lot cleaner than it otherwise would be, though, because, like, I'm seeing some floating debris still kind of floating around in here, but it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be. And I think that some people kind of tend to lie and tell you that when you only use one intake for your pump, you're losing suction. What I found out in my case is using only one intake causes all that suction from your pump to go for one intake. It tried to suck my big chlorine floater up into the skimmer. That's why when the pump is running, I can't use it in here. So once I figure out a schedule, then I'll be able to... Ooh, that water's cold. Once I figure out a schedule, then I'll be able to know for sure when I can use the chlorine floater. But I was kind of like trying to shock the pool and give it a good chlorine boost. I put about 40 ounces of some algicide and algae prevention treatment by Clorox in here last night. And I actually tried to film this video last night, but my kids were out here laughing and giggling and carrying on and stuff like that, and they kind of made me lose some of my train of thought. So that's why I'm out here refilming this, because I just didn't like how it came out, and I felt like I was all over the place and distracted. But yeah, overall though, I'm really happy with this. I think that we got a pretty good deal. We found this pool at Walmart for $570. So I don't think it was too bad. It would be better if I could find a way to get like the rest of that junk off the ground, off the bottom of the pool, because like I said, some of it's stuck and the brush won't even get it off, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But other than that though, I can't really complain. Overall though, build wise with this pool, I would say this pool is built a little bit better than the Intex. I'd say structurally it's a lot more sound, because the side frame pieces, like, they were a little bit wider, I think, and I think the metal that they're making them out of is a little bit thicker. And I like the idea of the little snap-in pieces instead of those little push button things, because it goes all the way through on the other side. And like I said, you could, if you wanted to, take those off and put bolts in their place. Not that I would do that. Like, I mean, I will. I mean, if something looks like something happened into one of the snaps, they're made out of plastic. But I think the whole point in having it be plastic is that they're trying to make this as rust-free as possible. And metal has a tendency to rust. So they are trying to make it so your pool doesn't rust on you quicker. I do have one, or maybe it's two. I think it's two. I'll have to go look. Two metal hose clamps on the other side. One that's holding my hose onto my skimmer on the bottom part, just to make sure it's not going to come off or leak. And then the other one is to help hold my adapter that's turning that 1.25 inch piece into a 1.5 inch over there. I think that I changed that one. The one under the skimmer has a plastic hose clamp on it right now though, because it's underneath the skimmer. You can't really see it, no way. And I didn't want to mess with it because it wasn't leaking, and I just said, well, I'll just leave it alone, and then if it becomes a problem later, then I'll change it. But I mean, other than that though, I'm really happy with this. And I'm really super happy that I got over myself and put a skimmer on this pool, because being 28 weeks pregnant tomorrow, getting ready to have a new baby, I honestly don't know when I'm gonna have the time to come out here and actually spend hours cleaning this pool, because it literally would take me sometimes hours and hours to clean this pool by hand skim. And you saw the one video where I had like summer 2017 where I'm out here cleaning the pool. I think that video lasted 45 minutes. It was 45 minutes of nothing but me cleaning this pool and listening to music. And you need to go play because you're interrupting me. I'm making a video.
I want to play on the computer.
Okay, well, I'll be with you in a minute. Let me finish my video. So, I mean, and you saw me, if you watched that video, you saw me hand skim the pool, and then brush the bottom of the pool, and then vacuum, and then yet again have to go back and hand skim the pool again because I realized that I missed some spots, and then I ended up running the vacuum again. Because for one thing, with the with having no skimmer, you can't hook your skimmer into your vacuum because because with having no skimmer, you can't hook your vacuum into the skimmer because you don't have a skimmer. And those little things that hang on the side don't work. I had one, it didn't work. I had to throw it away. And then the automatic vacuum cleaner that Intex makes kind of works, but I noticed that a lot of times it would just get stuck in my pool and then wouldn't move anymore. Some of the ditches and craters that I had in there made it do that. The one thing that I will say about the sand that I have put down this time is that I don't have as many dips. I was noticing that when I was running the vacuum today, that I didn't really have that many dips and holes. So I think that this time I'll be able to actually get an automatic vacuum, and it'll actually work. And then I can just throw that in and leave it alone and walk away. And that'll come in handy for days that I'm just not gonna have time to vacuum, but it really needs it vacuumed really bad. I'm gonna get the Creepy Crawly by Pintar for in here, because it can hook right into the skimmer and I can just let it go and call it a day. And that's handy for when you're having to take care of a newborn baby and stuff like that. Like, my whole situation has literally changed. I'm just not gonna have the time to come out here and spend all those hours like what you saw in that one video of me cleaning this pool. And I mean, it just wasn't working. I mean, a lot of times I would walk away from this pool and it would still be somewhat dirty. I'm not really experiencing that with this one. All of the dirt that I was able to get out of the pool, aside from the things that are stuck, came out of the pool. It came out, and it did clean it. And I don't see that much floating debris on top. There is some, but it's not that bad. I personally enjoy getting my pool and jumping around and playing and having a fun time. I really don't want to come out here and spend all my time cleaning it. I like to play in the water like my kids do. Before, it was more or less that they got to play in it and I never got to have fun because I was the one who was always cleaning it. But yeah, I just can't get over the way that my feet feel inside this cold water. This feels nice and fresh and cool. It's still a little cold. I don't think I would try to get in all the way, but I want to so bad. I really do. This feels so good, so inviting, so refreshing. So, wow. So anyway, that is my update for this pool. I don't really have much else to say. I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.